Listen to this now. You're about to discover something only 3% of men truly understand about attraction. And no, it's not another one of those generic tips about confidence or looks. You know that feeling of always being the nice guy who's just a third wheel? Of being the shoulder to cry on that never turns into anything more? Today, that ends. Because you're going to learn how to flip a mental switch that completely transforms how people perceive you. Imagine your energy is like a powerful magnet. When you constantly chase approval, that magnet repels everyone. But when you learn to be your own center of value, it attracts with an irresistible magnetic force. Can you feel the difference? Pay attention now. You've probably tried everything. You've been the attentive guy, the one who always responds quickly, the one who's always available. And where did that get you? Exactly. To the same old place. The friend zone, the void, indifference. And you know what's worse? The more you try, the worse it gets. It's like emotional quicksand. The more you struggle trying to please, the deeper you sink into romantic irrelevance. Do you think it's a coincidence that the guys who try the least get the most attention? I'm going to tell you a secret that few truly apply. After 10 years of studying behavioral psychology and attraction dynamics, I discovered there's a specific code that separates magnetic men from disposable nice guys. And it has nothing to do with being a jerk or feigning disinterest. It has to do with genuine value, with self-respect, with calibrated authenticity. Remember this now, there's a brutal difference between being kind and being a nice guy. The kind person chooses when and how to show kindness. The nice guy begs for approval through false kindness. One attracts, the other repels. Does that make sense to you? Now let's get straight to what matters. I'm going to show you exactly how to spark real attraction through 5 fundamental pillars that form what I call the VALUE code. This is an ultra-rare system that transforms invisible men into magnetic presences. First pillar. Strategic vulnerability. Stop trying to seem perfect. Seriously, wake up. Nobody connects with robots programmed to please. People connect with real humans, with flaws, opinions, and their own stories. Strategic vulnerability means showing who you are without erasing yourself. It's sharing your struggles without becoming a burden. It's admitting weaknesses without apologizing for existing. You know when you're talking and you feel like agreeing with everything just to avoid friction? That's exactly where you kill attraction, because attraction is born from tension, not automatic agreement. Think with me. When was the last time you openly disagreed with someone you wanted to impress? When was the last time you held your ground, even at the risk of displeasing them? If you can't remember, that's your first problem. Studies show that people with their own opinions are perceived as more attractive and trustworthy. Not because they're difficult, but because they're real, authentic, integral. Can you perceive the difference? I'll give you a practical example. You're on a date and she mentions she loves a movie you thought was terrible. The nice guy would say he loved it too. The man of value would say something like this: "Really? I thought it was pretty weak. The soundtrack was good, but the plot lost me halfway through. What part did you enjoy the most?" See what happened? You disagreed, but kept the conversation flowing. You created tension without being rude. You showed personality without attacking. That's strategic vulnerability. Being yourself strategically. Is it starting to make sense? Second pillar. Conscious assertiveness. Enough of swallowing your pride, enough of accepting crumbs, enough of pretending everything's okay when it's not. Conscious assertiveness is about communicating your expectations and boundaries without asking for permission. It's saying no when necessary. It's expressing what you want without unnecessary beating around the bush. How many times have you accepted something you didn't want just to avoid seeming difficult? How many times have you let people walk all over you to keep the peace? Every time you do that, you teach people that your time and energy are worthless. Pay attention to this. Boundaries aren't walls to push people away. They're filters to attract the right ones. When you set clear boundaries, you automatically repel those who don't respect you and magnetize those who value authenticity. It's like an internal radar that detects quality. High-value people respect boundaries. Toxic people constantly test them. Which type do you want in your life? Let me tell you something almost no one realizes. When you start saying no, something magical happens. People begin to value your yeses. Because now, they mean something. They're no longer automatic. Imagine you have a friend who always says yes to everything, any invitation, any favor, any request. Now imagine another who carefully chooses when to make themselves available. Which of the two do you value more when they dedicate time to you? Exactly. Assertiveness isn't about being difficult. It's about being selective. It's about quality, not quantity. Can you feel the power of that? Third pillar, emotional freedom. Stop depending on others' approval to feel good. That's the invisible prison that holds you hostage to relational mediocrity. Emotional freedom means your worth doesn't fluctuate based on how others treat you. You don't get euphoric with a Tinder match or depressed by an unanswered message. You are your own emotional thermometer. Do you know why this is so powerful? Because emotionally, free people are unpredictable in the best sense. They're not reactive. They're not controllable. And that, my friend, is irresistibly attractive. Think of it this way. When you desperately need something, you push it away. When you're genuinely fine with or without it, you attract it. It's the universal law of abundance versus scarcity. Does that make sense to you? I'll give you a simple technique I've used for years. Before replying to any message, I ask myself, am I responding because I want to or because I need validation? If it's the second option, I wait until I'm in the first state. Sometimes that means waiting hours, sometimes days. But it always means responding from a place of power, not need. People feel your energy through screens. They know when you're thirsty for attention. And nothing kills attraction faster than emotional desperation. Always remember, you don't need anyone specific. You choose to share your life with people who add value. There's an oceanic difference between these two stances. Is it starting to click? Fourth pillar, personal goals. If your life revolves around getting romantic attention, you've already lost the game. Magnetic men have rich, interesting lives that exist independently of external validation. What's your mission? What drives you beyond relationships? If you don't have a clear answer, that's your main problem. Personal goals create natural gravity. When you're genuinely focused on building something bigger, people want to be part of your journey. When you're just waiting for someone to show up, you become background noise. Can you see the difference? I'm going to be direct with you. Quality women don't want to be the center of your life. They want to be part of an already interesting life. They want to complement, not complete. When was the last time you canceled a date because you had something more important? When was the last time you genuinely prioritized your projects over a date? If never, you are subconsciously communicating that your life is empty without romance. Men with purpose attract naturally, not because they try to, but because they're too busy building empires to be begging for crumbs of attention. This doesn't mean ignoring people. It means having clear priorities where relationships are important, but not everything. It's like a dance of celestial bodies. Planets don't chase other planets. They follow their orbits and naturally align when their paths cross. Does it make sense now? Fifth pillar, self-respect. This is the foundation of everything. Without self-respect, the other four pillars crumble. It's the base of your emotional fortress. Self-respect means putting your well-being and dignity above others' approval. It's preferring to be alone than in bad company. It's choosing quality over quantity. Always. How many times have you tolerated disrespect just to keep someone around? How many times have you accepted treatment inferior to what you deserve? Every time you do that, you train your brain to accept less. And worse, you train others to treat you poorly. Pay attention to this now. Self-respect is non-negotiable. It's not something you turn on and off depending on how attracted you are to someone. It's your minimum standard of existence. People constantly test your boundaries. It's human nature. If you give in, they push more. If you hold firm, they either respect you or leave. Either way, you win. See how that works? Let me tell you something that will change your perspective. Every time you accept less than you deserve, you're not being humble or understanding. You're being cowardly. You're choosing temporary comfort over lasting respect. And you know what's worse? People know this. They sense when you don't value yourself. And unconsciously, they treat you accordingly. It's brutal, but it's real. Self-respect is magnetic because it's rare. Most people sell their dignity for crumbs of attention. When you refuse to do that, you automatically stand out. Can you feel the power of that shift? Now I'm going to give you the complete framework, so you never forget. VALUE. Strategic vulnerability, conscious assertiveness, emotional freedom, personal goals, self-respect. Engrave this in your mind. Tattoo it on your soul if you need to. But wait, I know what you're thinking right now. If I stop being a nice guy, won't I become a jerk? Won't I push everyone away? Listen closely. There's an abyss between being a nice guy and being a jerk. The nice guy has no boundaries. The jerk has no empathy. The man of value has both in balance. You're not learning to be cruel. You're learning to be authentic. You're not learning to hurt people. You're learning not to hurt yourself. True kindness comes from choice, not fear. When you are kind because you choose to be, not because you need approval, it carries a different weight. It has real value. People feel the difference between genuine kindness and manipulation disguised as goodness. One builds real connections. The other creates superficial relationships. Which do you prefer? I'll give you a final example to crystallize everything. Imagine you're in a busy bar. The music is loud, people are talking, energy is in the air. You see that interesting person in the corner. The nice guy would approach with a forced smile, asking generic questions, agreeing with everything, trying to impress. The man of value does it differently. He maintains his posture, makes confident eye contact. When the conversation starts, he expresses genuine opinions, disagrees when necessary, maintains his standards, isn't afraid to create tension. You know what happens? The conversation becomes electric, memorable, because finally, someone real appeared in a sea of people pretending to be what they're not. Can you visualize that? Now I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Every day you spend pretending to be someone you're not, you lose real opportunities. Every time you diminish yourself to fit into someone else's world, you move further away from your own. This isn't another empty internet tip. It's a proven map for you to stop accepting crumbs and start building the life you deserve. The question isn't whether you can change. The question is whether you will change. Because while you're thinking about it, other men are applying it and reaping the results. Remember the magnet. You choose to be what repels or what attracts. There's no middle ground, no neutral zone. You're either going up or you're going down. Where do you want to be a year from now? Still complaining about the same problems or living a completely different reality? The choice has always been yours. It always will be. Pay attention one last time. Real transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens decision by decision, boundary by boundary, choice by choice. Start today, start now. Start with the next interaction. Say no to something you'd normally accept. Express an opinion you'd normally hide. Maintain a standard you'd normally compromise. Small acts of self-respect accumulate into massive transformation. That's how you get out of the friend zone of life and into the zone of natural magnetism. You have two options now. Go back to the same old pattern or apply what you've learned here. One keeps you where you are. The other opens doors you didn't even know existed. If this content made sense to you, if something here truly resonated, do this now, before you forget. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning of your transformation. And remember the magnet? Now you know how to calibrate it. The question is, will you? The power has always been in your hands. Today you just learned how to use it.